What's up, everybody? This boy kirbyykirbs giving you guys a player interview with Thekeeko25. How you doing, Keeko?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. So I really appreciated that you're here with me today doing this interview. It really means a lot, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are trying to wonder your thoughts and views on this.
For sure, man. Thanks for having me.
All right. So let's get on to the questions, like the YouTube questions. Tell me about your channel. Like, what do you do in your channel?
My channel it's kind of like if you guys have seen Slim Extreme Symmetry. It's very community-based. I take a lot of input from my subscribers, but the main thing I do that I enjoy doing the most is a lot of reporting, which can be on new products coming out, an upcoming specific card or set, news about new promos and things like that, but also traveling to the different events, YCSs, nationals, even locals and regionals, things like that, and taking deck profiles from winners, getting interviews from other pro players, kind of like what we're doing right now. So that's the stuff I enjoy the most. I feel like it gets the most information out there to everybody, and I feel like you learn more by seeing other people's ideas and opinions than you do just from seeing pack openings and stuff. But I do pack openings, I do product review, all kinds of different things. Rants is something I've started getting into a little bit more that people seem to like. So I do a little bit of everything, and I take a lot from a lot of different types of channels. So I like to think of myself as being very, well-rounded in the video world. So.
Well, if you guys really are interested in that, go make sure you check out his channel. His annotation will be there, so go check him out. The second question is, what got you into YouTube?
Oh man, coming out of high school, I got back into Yu-Gi-Oh right around Duelist Revolution. So pot of duality, $150, and I started just doing research on decks. I didn't know what to build. I didn't know what synchros were at the time, so I started just researching things, and I came across a couple of videos that I thought were really cool, and I found that there was a YouTube community for the game. And so I went to a regional with a buddy of mine, and I was playing Naturias, and it wasn't meant to be competitive or anything. It was meant to be fun, and it was a 300-person regional. It was my first regional ever, and I was one win away from top 32ing, which would have given me my invite to nationals. And so when I got back, I felt like I had something to say about it, so I made a video, and it got like 10 views in 10 days, and I was happy about that. So after a while, I figured out I liked doing the whole thing, and it was just fun. I don't do it for money. I don't do it for anything but just pure fun, and to help myself learn and other people learn. But it just started off giving a deck profile about Nichuri as a deck that most people don't even care about, but it turned out to be one of my most popular videos that I've ever had. So pretty innocent way of getting into it, honestly.
So that's where the Naturia pineapple love came from. I was always wondering about that.
Yep, it's my favorite card. I have pages and pages of secret rare first ed pineapples that I have all the Yu-Gi-Tubers sign and the pro players sign whenever I go to an event or if I give an interview or something like that. So it's just kind of my signature card right now.
The other question for the last one, was there any Yu-Gi-Tuber that you look up to or change your ways in your Yu-Gi-Oh channel?
Yeah, there's a multiple part answer to that question. The first video I saw that was a Yu-Gi-Tube type video where I saw somebody doing more than just putting cards on a table and talking was Pro Winston. He had a Naturia Beast deck profile that was going on back around D-Rev coming out. And I watched it and thought it was pretty interesting, and I even tried it out, and it affected the build that I took to that regional. So that was my first, I really liked him. I thought he was funny. I thought he had some really good views. And then I found out later that he was a pretty good player. Also, he had topped YCS Anaheim and some others. And then I got into where I saw some videos from Underworld 6667, who was kind of the person that I started modeling the way I did my videos. And then later on, I was introduced to Vexicus4666, who kind of got me into a more personality type thing in my videos, where I tried to be a little bit funnier. I tried to be more objective to things. That's where I started doing rants from, just inspirations like that. So really things have changed all throughout, and I don't feel like I don't think that we should ever stop changing our channels. Slimex Team Symmetry has given a lot of people good ideas. Mickey Vlogs gave some people good ideas about being the anti-Yugi tuber, you know, doing things that aren't the standard. He changed a lot of things that, you know, everybody's already done, so Mickey's doing something completely different. Great Fells, Montana does a lot of really, really in-depth analysis of the game, more academic, kind of like the Sand Trap did. So I feel like we all just kind of help each other change our channels and evolve them. But really, it was Pro Winston, Underworld, and Vexy that really shaped the way my channel came out to be.
That's really good to know. Like, well, on to the Yu-Gi-Oh questions, because this is a Yu-Gi-Oh related channel. So, first question is, what are your views on the big meta decks like Wind-Ups, Dino Rabbit, Insectors, Chaos Dragons, and Heroes? What are your views on them right now?
Honestly, Rescue Rabbit, I don't have much of a problem with it. I feel like you can side deck just enough for it. I think it's a good deck. I don't think it's too. I think people like to make a big deal about how overpowering it is. First turn Logia sucks, but you know, when they open up 3 vanillas, they've got to play their way out of it, and it happens quite a bit. But the deck has explosive plays. There's no doubt about how good of a deck it is. Wind-Ups, I don't have too much of a problem with it. I think that, you know, if they don't open up the hand loop, fantastic. But, you know, there was a point in time where we could open double Gateway, Kaigeki, and Kagamusha as well and just explode all over the place. You know, Heretics are going to be opening up with Gustav Max first turn here in a couple of months. So I don't feel like Wind-Ups are that bad. I feel like they have to play around some bad hands as well. And late game and stuff, the game can get pretty skilled overall if you're having to play your way out of not having the wind-up loop and maybe drawing some of your dead cards. Heroes, I think, are pretty good. Super Poly is a ridiculous card, as I stated in my ban list prediction video. I feel like that card needs to get hit to some degree with Escurado coming out. But I think Heroes are a pretty solid deck. They won Japan's Nationals. Chaos Dragons, I don't mind Chaos Dragons that much. I like that they are a cheaper deck to build. They're very powerful, but there's a lot that you can side deck against them. Macrocosmos and Skill Drain absolutely demolish the deck. It's the deck that I play. I feel like I know it the best out of all the big decks. So Chaos Dragons is a big threat, but I don't feel like it's as bad as most people like to make it out to be. And then as far as Insectors go, I hate them. I hate the deck with a passion. I think that I don't think the deck would be hit enough unless Dragonfly was put to 1 and Hornet was put to 2. They've still got Ladybug, they've got Gigamantis, they've got Hopper. They can do all these things. They can have no hand, nothing on the field with just a Hornet and Graveyard. They can top deck a Dragonfly and they can OTK you. I think that's ridiculous. I have a friend who plays Insectors and loves the deck and doesn't want it to get hit, and I see why. Because he wins almost plays. He ends up with 5 exceeding monsters on the field that you just can't stop, and he's already cleared the opponent's field. I think the deck is too overpowered, and I think that it needs to get slowed down dramatically.
Alright, so the next question related to the first one. What deck takes the most skills out of those big meta decks, and why?
I think that the most skilled, in a way, would be Heroes. I think that they've been around for a while, and the deck has constantly evolved. Joji Orlando has kind of given us a base skeleton now of how the deck is going to be run. People are running less and less monsters. It's not so much the hero beat with the Thunder King's main deck and stuff that people were running a few formats ago. But I think Heroes does take some more degree of skill than the others. But I also feel like Wind-Ups and Chaos Dragons can take a decent amount of skill. If Wind-Ups don't open up the Wind-Up loop, they are stuck. If they open up Dead Magicians and if they open up Dead Hunters in their hand and things like, what are they going to do? Make 3 Zen Mighties not do anything out of your hand if you've already set some stuff? They're not really going to do a whole lot, so they have to find other ways, going into Tyrus and Adrius with their sharks, to make their big explosive plays in the game without wind up looping your hand. And then Dragons as well, they can open up 5 cards that have inherent special summons and they have no way to get lights and darks in the graveyard. Or they could open up just solid Raikos and Lilas and they can mill everything and not be able to make their explosive plays. If they don't open up Future Fusion, it's not, they're not the best deck, but they are far from the worst. But I think that they do take some degree of skill to play more than Rescue Rabbit or Insectors or any of those. So.
All right. All right, so the next question is, do you believe the rise of the duelist will change the game or impact it in any way?
I definitely think it will. I need to, definitely do a little bit more research on the pack itself. But we have a lot of good cards coming out in here, and especially, things that are going to give more heretic support. The thing I've noticed about a lot of the sets we've had lately is people have tended to overhype them. We know that Card D was incredibly hyped when it was coming out. The first day, the card was easily going for $80 to $100, just kind of depending on where you were. And what has it really done? It hasn't had that much effect on the meta. And I feel like a lot of the sets, like the last 3 or 4 sets, have really kind of let us down in, as far as the hype that they got before they came out. So Return of the Duelist has some really good things in here. It has the Heroics, I think, and the Magicals. So we're really going to have to see, are the Magicals really going to be as good as some people are saying? Who knows? But I definitely think that a lot of the cards in there have some, really good potential that we could use. And maybe some cards that are under the radar, maybe some rares or commons or something that'll really help change the game.
Yeah, like there's a card like Soul Drain that's going to be a really good side decking card. I don't know if you heard of it.
Yes, I have. It's going to be a very good card.
But
I don't know if they've announced any kind of a rarity on it yet. I think it may just end up being a rare or something. But
yeah, I mean, I think Insector players will use it the most, but not 100% sure. But I mean, it's still a really good card.
Definitely.
So let's see. What's the next question? So what about the Abyss Rising? Like that's the next pack that's following up the Return of the Duelist. Do you think it will change anything at all? Like, or like what's your views on it? Like a little bit.
Once again, I don't know too much about this pack. I know that we've already got a special edition announced for it, which if they've already come out with a special edition for it, it makes me think that they're really thinking that they're going to be able to sell this product really well. So, we may get some good promos in there as well. But I think that Konami probably thinks that this will be a really good set. I know it's had a lot of talk with the mermaids and going in with the I don't know how do you say it? The Moldels or something. Yeah, the Moldels. So I think those could have some kind of an impact. But I think this is the one that's supposed to have a lot of the sea or the water support. So I think that it could definitely open up some new decks to come in, and really help flip the format around a little bit. Maybe get us away from so much Dino Rabbit and things like that.
Yeah, hopefully. Like, I still haven't looked up with the mermaids. Like, what specifically? What's their combo? Like, who knows? They might end up doing a loop or something. But
yeah, definitely.
All right, so you know about the extra pack about OCGs getting our TCG exclusive. Do you believe that the gap between TCG and OCG will come a little bit closer? Like it will come a little bit more closer than separating us from TCG and OCG. What do you believe?
I hope so. Konami's already taken a lot of steps in the right direction to kind of help that happen. They took away priority on ignition effects in the TCG, as we all know. But the cards that, if I've got my information right, they're getting cards like Tour Guide, Reborn Tengu, Wind Up Shark, Wind Up Rabbit, and Evolzar Dolka. So I think that Rabbit will gain a little bit more popularity in the OCG, and especially with Tour Guide, they're getting Dolka and Tour Guide. That's 2 huge pieces of the puzzle that we have that they don't. Because they run a little bit of a different version of Rabbit. It's called Verse Rabbit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I've seen
that. And then also with getting Wind Up Rabbit and Shark, that will definitely, and Tour Guide, that'll dramatically help them, get their wind-up decks coming together. So we may see a little less play in Heroes, and depending on how good these other decks are, maybe a little decline in the play of Insectors in the OCG. And since they are getting Reborn Tengu, and since synchroing isn't as big of a deal now here in the TCG as it was when it was semi-limited, I'm thinking there's a possibility that they may put Tengu back to 3, kind of make the TG stun deck a little bit better. Tengu with Horn of the Phantom Beast, things like that. It's always a possibility that we have to think about. So I think this will help push us a little closer together. Especially how different our metas are when we go into worlds and things like that. So I'd really like to see what these cards will be able to do in the OCG.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to what the OCG can build out of these cards specifically. It's going to be pretty interesting. Yeah. All right. So the next question that has to do with nationals, like what nationals do you think is going to win worlds, and why?
I'd love to say that I think the U.S. will pull it off. I'd love to see Jarrell Winston do well, and I'd love to see Tyler Tabman do well, as a couple of the other guys that topped at nationals. But if I have to speak with my heart and my head a little bit, I'd have to say that I think that Japan will win using either Inzectors or Heroes. Heroes won the Japanese nationals, and Inzectors are just absolutely wrecking up there. They have so many Exceed monsters and stuff that we do not have. Now, I know that they won't be able to use a lot of those during Worlds since we don't have them, so they're not going to be legal for them to use, but they do have plenty of other cards that can help combat what we have over here. So I think Inzectors are still a very strong deck for Worlds as well as Heroes, and the Japanese play them just as well as anybody, if not a little bit better. So I think that that's a pretty solid pick as to what will win Worlds.
All right. But before we end the interview, is there any advice do you give to any YouTubers that are going to start YouTubing or getting into this?
Yeah, definitely. First off, one of my kind of things that I've told some people who have asked me this is, make content that people are searching for. Maybe whenever you're, first up and coming, do pack openings or, product reviews of new products that are coming out, and always do your research. If you do a good job on them and it gets people to your channel, then eventually you can build daily segments, weekly segments, things like that, off of stuff that you just want to talk about on everyday opinions that you have about yourself. But nobody's going to search Thekeeko25's opinion on stealing in Yu-Gi-Oh! Events. Nobody's going to search. People are searching box openings to Photon Shockwave. They're going to search Gustav Max to find out what it does. Do reporting on those when you're starting off, and as you get bigger, do more of your daily segments, but you have to get people to your channel first. The second thing is a good thing that Mickey Vlogs and SlimX Team Symmetry have done. In less than a year, or just around a year, they've gained just as many subscribers as I have, which is around the 3,100 mark. How did they do it? They connected with a lot of bigger name YouTubers. They even connected with myself, Underworld6667, Vexcus4666, your Yu-Gi-Oh channel. So it's when you connect with these people and you show them that you can do, you can produce the content, you can stay current, and you can stay consistent on your uploads. They will talk about you. They will feature you on their channels. They'll give you shout-outs. Basically, guys, earn your shout-outs. Don't ask or beg for them. You got to go earn them.
All right. Well, that's some good advice. I'm not going to lie. And I hope it helped out anybody out there that's watching this. So thank you once again for coming into my channel and taking your time to do this.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys will all go subscribe. I hope you'll watch all of kirbyykirbs' videos. I got a chance to meet him at Nationals. Great guy, and he does amazing work with his videos. So I hope to see you guys over on my channel a little bit more.
Hopefully, just go subscribe. His channel will be in the annotation and the description below, so go check out. He does have a good content and amazing videos, and some funny stuff too, like specifically that last video. But you guys have to check that out. I'll let you guys find out. Anyways, thank you once again. We're out. Bye.
Bye, guys.